start with a question at least. Have you ever watched those videos on social media platforms where you can see the routine of the guru? The guru can be a young woman or man in their 20s, waking up at 5 a.m., drinking their green smoothie, wearing activewear, going to the gym before going to class or to work. This content can have titles such as A Day in the Life, and sometimes the guru gives advice on how to be more productive. I know most of you have encountered these videos at least once, and a quarter of you go and actively look for those. And it feels good to watch them, right? I mean, the life of these people seems so well put together. Was it just existing and trying to find the next hack to get some motivation in, or to shift the direction of your life? And so you keep on watching those, because this routine may work for you as well, right? Well, this is what I want to talk to you about today. Porn. Productivity porn, to be exact. And my aim today is to show you how what they try to sell you should be there just for entertainment and not real-life replication. My aim today is also showing you how what they try to sell you is so unreplicatable and unsustainable. I know the name productivity porn sounds very odd, but it describes the immediate satisfaction that watching these videos give us. They give us the illusion of doing something too, because it seems like we're learning new techniques and routines that will help us to be as successful as these people. So, the proliferation of this content has been supported by millions of users because at the end of the day, it seems like a simple equation, isn't it? I mean, it is a simple equation. Waking up at 5 a.m., drinking a green smoothie, working out, plus getting things done from your laptop equals successful individual with a glowy face. This content has been supported by millions of users who love to watch them as they get a sense of a routine that they would love to implement, but end up trying and saying, I can't do it, I'm not that kind of person. Well, I will tell you about my experience using this equation very soon. Keep this in mind because we will come back to it in a second. But there's something I need to make clear first. The people in question haven't done anything wrong. They were just sharing what worked for them, hoping to help others. The problem is the new wave that the concept of productivity took in the last 5 years. Productivity has become an increasingly hot topic, to the point that we start treating it not as an approach to get work done, but as a lifestyle. Now, another problem is that usually these people have quite a big following, which unconsciously leads us into thinking that if so many people are following and supporting these people, then why am I not? Here is where my sciencey side kicks in and the psychological concept starts to be explained. There's something called dynamic social impact theory, according to which people influence each other, and they do so primarily in terms of how often they interact with each other, which ultimately leads into groups of like-minded people. In other words, they're forming a culture. Which means that if so many people have a following and actually support these creators, it's because there are other people that do the exact same. But just like there are other people that do the exact opposite and manage to get their things done and exist quite nicely, I'd say. Do we agree? Actually, let's see, by raising your hand, how many of you wake up around 5 or 6 a.m.? Okay, do you manage to go through your to-do list? Okay, well, thank you. Now, how many of you wake up past 6 a.m.? Do you manage to go through your to-do list? Roughly, okay, thank you. Thank you for answering, because now you all became my new guinea pigs for my next experiment. Thank you, clue to laugh, got it, thank you. So, about guinea pigs, there is something that distinguishes us from animals, among which are meaning and motivation. We do things not only because for an evolutionary or biological purpose, but because we want to, we need to, or we're asked to. Of course, when we do things because we love them and we want to do them, something magical happens, because even if these things fall under the category have to do, we treat them as if these were steps towards something we believe in and are passionate about. not as if it was work. But sometimes human beings can be so complex that even if we do the things we love, we might get stuck or have doubts. So as desperate as we are in this situation, we start to look around and see what others are doing and how they're doing it. And when we see someone thriving, there's this little voice inside ourselves that tells us that we should aspire to what they have. And we think that these people are potentially keeping a secret from us on how they have their lives so well put together. I mean, they smile all the time, they're surrounded by people, they get amazing results in what they do. And an explanation as simple as they're just being themselves and doing what they love sounds too simplistic, right? Well, this urge to imitate this category of people has been studied in psychology as the prestige bias. A tendency to imitate or learn from the prestigious people, or those who have the respect and attention of others. Humans are said to have a prestige bias. They're especially concerned, or actually we are especially concerned, with detecting who has prestige. That is, they seek the people who have skills and attention of others, and they try to imitate what these individuals are doing. A recent study tested whether 4-year-old children are indeed more likely to imitate the behavior of a prestigious model. In this study, the children saw 2 adults choosing between one thing or another, such as choosing which of 2 toys to play with and choosing which kinds of food to eat. The way prestige was replicated is that only one of the 2 adults was attended by 2 bystanders, whilst these people were ignoring the other adult. And here is the interesting part. Later, when the children had the chance to make their own choices, they were actually more likely to imitate the behavior of the prestigious model who had been attended by others. Now, if there are any mom or dads in the audience and you're struggling to make your kid eating vegetables or doing something else, you can thank me later. So I hope that now you're more aware of the dynamics that unconsciously drag us into assuming that there is a winner model and a loser model in the way we should live and act in the world. But what I really want you to be aware of is that the only thing you need to do to be successful is knowing yourself. I fell in the productivity trap 3 years ago. And what I've learned is that in order to be successful, you need to be you. Be real with yourself and others. Choose something you're passionate about and be consistent with it. And if you get bored with that, something else will be out there ready for you to help you become the best version of yourself. When I experimented with a 6 to 10 schedule, I was so productive. My goal was to try out another routine to be as performant as possible. And honestly, I did it. But my social life was non-existent. I had tunnel vision in what I was doing, to the point that I didn't realize all the negative consequences that this lifestyle brought. That year, I was feeling good about what I achieved. And every person that would meet me would always tell me, I don't know how you do it. I don't think I will be able to. And my answer will be, you don't need to. In those months of my life, I realized how each of us is different. We all have different priorities and balances, and we should make our choices solely based on those. And choosing is easier than it sounds, because our body and mind provide us with a lot of clues on what works best for us and what doesn't. As I said, I was feeling good about what I did that year, but what I was losing was of much more importance. When it comes to your priorities, you know what the things you care more about are, no one else. So in my case, I just quit it and listened to what worked best for me. Do you know why the discovery of fire is the biggest discovery of mankind? Because they saved our ancestors a lot of time. They started to cook the meat, which saved them time that they would have otherwise spent in chewing raw meat and digesting it. time that they invested in making other advancements. I mean, we discovered fire and electricity to save us time, to make our lives easier, not to struggle in trying to fit in someone else's life or replicating online trends. And here is where I really ask you to mind the gap. I want you to mind the gap to a new awareness that all the progress we're making, all the time we're trying to save, should be invested in bettering yourself, in getting to know yourself, embracing your strengths and weaknesses, rather than comparing what you can't do to what someone else can do. Stop following online trends and create your own, because you should be the first and biggest fan of yourself and your own content. Thank you.